In the heart of rural England, nestled among rolling hills and golden fields, lay a quaint farmstead owned by the Thompson family. It was here that young Wayne Thompson spent his days, helping his father tend to the crops and care for the animals. But Wayne had a penchant for creativity that extended beyond the chores of the farm. One crisp autumn afternoon, as the leaves began to turn shades of amber and crimson, Wayne decided to embark on a project unlike any other. With a bundle of straw and old clothes pilfered from the attic, Wayne set to work crafting a scarecrow. His fingers deftly wove the straw into a form, and soon the scarecrow began to take shape, its tattered garments fluttering in the breeze. But as Wayne added the finishing touches, a mischievous thought crossed his mind. What if this scarecrow could do more than just ward off birds? What if it could move and speak, like something out of a storybook? Ignoring the rational voice in his head, Wayne whispered ancient incantations he had read in an old tome hidden away in the attic. The words felt foreign on his tongue, sending shivers down his spine. But when he opened his eyes, he was met with nothing but silence. Disappointed but not defeated, Wayne shrugged off his folly and left the scarecrow standing sentinel in the field. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the farm, Wayne retired to his bed, his mind abuzz with thoughts of his enchanted creation. Little did he know that his experiment would soon unleash a chain of events beyond his wildest imagination. That night, as the moon rose high in the sky, a strange energy seemed to course through the air. The fields whispered secrets to the wind, and shadows danced beneath the pale glow of the moonlight. Unbeknownst to Wayne, his incantations had not fallen on deaf ears. In the quiet darkness, the scarecrow stirred. Its straw-stuffed limbs creaked and groaned as life breathed into them. Slowly, it lifted its head, its button eyes gleaming in the moonlight. With a rustle of straw, it stepped down from its perch and began to wander the fields, its movements awkward and jerky, like a marionette controlled by an unseen hand. Meanwhile, Wayne slept soundly in his bed, unaware of the supernatural events unfolding just beyond his window. It wasn't until the early hours of the morning that he was roused from his slumber by a blood-curdling scream. Bounding out of bed, Wayne raced outside, heart pounding in his chest. What he saw froze him in his tracks. The scarecrow stood at the edge of the field, its arms outstretched in a grotesque parody of life. And at its feet lay the lifeless body of his father, his eyes wide with terror. Wayne's mind reeled as he struggled to make sense of the scene before him. Had his foolish experiment somehow led to this tragedy? Trembling with fear and disbelief, he approached the scarecrow, his hands shaking as he reached out to touch it. But before his fingers could make contact, the scarecrow turned its empty gaze upon him, and Wayne knew in that moment that he was no longer in control. With a menacing cackle, the scarecrow lunged forward, its straw-stuffed arms reaching for Wayne's throat. And as the first rays of dawn broke over the horizon, the farm echoed with the sound of his screams, swallowed by the darkness that lurked within the fields. The morning sun rose, casting its warm glow over the farmstead, but there was no warmth to be found in Wayne's heart. He awoke in a cold sweat, the memory of his father's lifeless eyes haunting his every thought. It took him a moment to realize that it wasn't just a nightmare. The events of the previous night had been all too real. With trembling hands, Wayne stumbled out of bed and made his way to the fields, dreading what he might find. But as he approached the spot where the scarecrow had stood, there was nothing there but an empty patch of earth. Had it all been a figment of his imagination? Or had the scarecrow returned to the shadows from whence it came? Haunted by uncertainty, Wayne searched the farmstead from top to bottom, but there was no sign of the scarecrow or any other evidence of the horrors that had transpired. It was as if the events of the previous night had been swallowed by the earth, leaving nothing behind but a lingering sense of dread. As days turned into weeks, Wayne struggled to come to terms with what had happened. The farm felt different now, tainted by the memory of his father's death and the specter of the scarecrow that still lingered in the back of his mind. He tried to bury himself in his work, throwing himself into the chores of the farm with a desperate fervor, But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was being watched. And then, one stormy night, as lightning split the sky and thunder rumbled like a beast awakened from slumber, Wayne heard a familiar creaking outside his window. With a sinking feeling in the pit of his stomach, he peered into the darkness, and there, illuminated by flashes of lightning, stood the scarecrow. Its button eyes glinted in the darkness, and its straw-stuffed arms reached out to him with a silent menace. Wayne knew then that there was no escaping the curse he had unleashed upon the farmstead. With a heavy heart and tears streaming down his face, he whispered a final goodbye to his father and prepared to face his fate. For in the heart of rural England, among the rolling hills and golden fields, a darkness had taken root, and Wayne Thompson was its prisoner. With a deep breath, Wayne stepped out into the storm, his heart pounding in his chest. The wind howled around him, whipping at his clothes and tearing at his hair as he approached the scarecrow. Its presence loomed large in the darkness, a silent sentinel of death and despair. As he drew closer, Wayne could feel the malevolent energy radiating from the scarecrow, filling him with a primal fear unlike anything he had ever known. But he refused to back down. He had brought this curse upon his family, and now he would be the one to end it. With a sudden surge of determination, Wayne lunged forward, his hands wrapping around the scarecrow's neck. For a moment, there was resistance, the straw-stuffed form struggling against his grasp. But then, with a sickening crunch, the scarecrow's head snapped free from its body, and the curse was broken. As the storm raged on around him, Wayne stood alone in the darkness, the limp form of the scarecrow at his feet. He knew that the horrors he had witnessed would stay with him forever, but in that moment, he felt a sense of peace wash over him. For he had faced his fears and emerged victorious, and the farmstead was his once more. In the days that followed, Wayne worked tirelessly to rebuild what had been lost, his hands moving with a newfound purpose and determination. And though the memory of his father's death still weighed heavily on his heart, he found solace in the knowledge that he had done everything in his power to set things right. As the seasons changed and life returned to the farmstead, Wayne watched over the fields with a watchful eye, knowing that darkness lurked in the shadows, but determined to never let it take hold again. And though the scarecrow was nothing more than a memory now, its legacy would live on, a reminder of the dangers that lay hidden beneath the surface of the world. Andrew, a hard-working farmer, lived with his 2 sons on the outskirts of a small village nestled amidst vast fields of wheat. The tranquility of their rural life was shattered when, one moonless night, they began hearing the eerie sound of children's laughter echoing from their fields. Bewildered, Andrew and his sons ventured out, only to find the fields empty, the laughter fading into the night. Puzzled and unnerved, they returned home, but the haunting laughter persisted, growing louder with each passing night. Andrew, a pragmatic man, dismissed it as the wind playing tricks on their ears, but his sons grew increasingly restless. They swore they saw fleeting shadows darting among the wheat, jiggling voices teasing them from the darkness. As days turned into weeks, the laughter consumed their nights, leaving them exhausted and anxious. Andrew's eldest son, Thomas, suggested seeking help from the village elders, but Andrew hesitated, unwilling to admit their plight to the superstitious townsfolk. Desperation gnawed at them as the laughter grew louder, closer, as if the unseen children were mocking their fear. Andrew, torn between skepticism and growing dread, resolved to unravel the mystery plaguing their land, even if it meant confronting the unknown that lurked in the shadows. Driven by determination, Andrew embarked on a solitary investigation, scouring the fields under the veil of night. Armed with only a lantern and his resolve, he ventured deeper into the labyrinth of wheat, his senses sharpened by anticipation. As he roamed the fields, he stumbled upon a dilapidated barn hidden amidst the swaying stalks. Intrigued, he cautiously pushed open the creaking door, revealing a scene frozen in time. Inside, he found weathered toys scattered across the dusty floor, their colors faded, their once cheerful visages now haunting. A shiver ran down Andrew's spine as he realized the grim truth behind the laughter. Decades ago, the land belonged to a prosperous family who fell victim to tragedy when their children vanished without a trace. Rumors whispered of foul play and cursed grounds, driving the villagers away from the forsaken farm. Haunted by the memories of the lost children, Andrew's heart ached with sorrow and empathy. The laughter that tormented them was not malicious, but a lingering echo of innocent joy trapped in the purgatory of abandonment. With newfound understanding, Andrew returned home to his sons, his resolve steeled by compassion. Together, they embarked on a mission to honor the forgotten souls, to cleanse the land of its sorrowful past and offer solace to the restless spirits. Armed with hope and determination, they began the arduous task of restoring the abandoned farm, transforming it into a sanctuary for nature's embrace. And as the fields bloomed once more, the laughter faded into whispers, a gentle farewell from the children who found peace at last. Despite the newfound peace that settled over the farm, a lingering presence haunted Andrew and his sons. The memory of the lost children weighed heavy on their hearts, a reminder of the fragility of life and the enduring power of compassion. As they toiled under the sun, nurturing the land back to life, they couldn't shake the feeling of being watched, of unseen eyes following their every move. Whispers of the past echoed in the rustle of leaves and the gentle sway of wheat, a silent testament to the souls that once called the farm home. Thomas, the eldest son, grew restless, haunted by visions of the lost children frolicking in the fields, their laughter a bittersweet melody that echoed in the recesses of his mind. Unable to bear the weight of their sorrow alone, he confided in his father, seeking solace in their shared grief. Together, they confronted the lingering presence that lingered on the edge of their reality, reaching out to the spirits with words of comfort and understanding. In the quiet of the night, they lit candles and whispered prayers, offering peace to the restless souls that wandered the fields. And as the days turned into weeks, the presence that once haunted them began to fade, dissipating like morning mist beneath the warmth of the sun. In its place, a sense of tranquility settled over the farm, a testament to the power of love and compassion to heal even the deepest wounds. Though the memory of the lost children would forever linger in their hearts, Andrew and his sons found solace in the knowledge that their spirits were finally at peace, their laughter a gentle reminder of the enduring bond that transcended the boundaries of life and death. With the passage of time, the farm flourished under Andrew's steadfast care, becoming a haven for both man and nature. The once abandoned fields teemed with life, their bounty a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the healing power of love. As the years went by, Andrew's sons grew into strong, compassionate men, their hearts molded by the trials they faced and the lessons they learned. Together, they tended to the land with reverence, honoring the memory of the lost children whose laughter still echoed in the wind. Their farm became a beacon of hope for the villagers, a testament to the transformative power of compassion and community. Families flocked to the fields, their children's laughter mingling with the rustle of leaves and the song of birds, a joyful symphony that filled the air with promise and possibility. And though Andrew's journey had been fraught with hardship and sorrow, he found solace in the knowledge that his legacy would endure long after he was gone. For the farm was more than just a piece of land. It was a sanctuary for the lost and the forgotten, a testament to the enduring power of love to conquer even the darkest of shadows. As Andrew stood beneath the vast expanse of the star-studded sky, surrounded by the ones he held dear, he felt a sense of peace wash over him like a gentle breeze.